What's up, guys, gals, and my non-binary pals? How's it going? Right here, bringing you a brand new video. This week's video is going to be a little bit different in that I'm not going to be discussing any one topic or venting about any one topic, and instead, I'll be answering questions that people have sent me through the Sarahah app. That is Sarahh. I'm going to preface this video by saying, first, it will be two parts. I will be answering 5 questions in this video and 5 questions in the next video. As well, please note that not every trans person is open to questioning, and that's okay. People don't have to be comfortable with answering questions. It's about what's comfortable for them, and it's not necessarily their job to answer you questions. However, I do not mind being asked questions at all. I think it's great to educate people, and it's something that I'm pretty passionate about. So anyway, without further ado, let's begin. First question, what was the most difficult part of your transition? So for me, I haven't medically or legally transitioned at all. I haven't legally changed my name, and I'm not on hormones. So that leaves just social transitioning. And frankly, the hardest part so far has been just admitting to myself who I am. For whatever reason, I really struggled with saying, hey, I'm trans, to myself. I also have a hard time being introduced to new people as me, Ryan, because I'm always afraid that they're going to clock me as trans and maybe not necessarily have as good of a response as everybody else in my life has had. It's kind of a terrifying thing to be introduced to new people. But I'm very fortunate in that I look very masculine, so I haven't really necessarily ever been clocked before. Anyway, next question. Do you ever feel like there are fake trans out there who are trying to get attention or be trendy? And if so, does it bother you? So, simple answer to this question is no, I don't feel like that's a thing. Long answer is everybody's transition and how everybody's transness is different. And that doesn't make a person any less valid. Everybody is allowed to be as trans as they want. And I think that gatekeeping how a person is trans is really harmful. And it kind of makes our community in general look like shit. I think that non-binary people who dress however the hell they want, regardless of how they identify. I think trans guys who dress however they want, regardless of how they identify. And I think trans women who dress however they want, regardless of how they identify. I think they're all still valid. And I think it's time that we try to stop the gatekeeping with how a person presents themselves. So, no, I don't think there are trans trenders out there, and that's such a ridiculous notion, regardless. So, yeah, there you go. Answers to that question. Next question. What's the difference between transgender, transsexual, and transvestite? So, transsexual and transvestite are very archaic terms. Transvestite is an old term for people who cross-dress. Transsexual is an old term for the now modern transgender, somebody who identifies as a gender different than the one that they were assigned at birth. And transgender is fairly obvious. It's the same definition as transsexual. Transsexual tends to be used now more towards people who have started medically transitioning, have gotten surgery, and are legally their gender and the name that they chose for themselves. But I've only seen certain people identify with it, and it's kind of a big no-no to refer to the whole transgender community with that word. It's a very ugly word, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not going to hold it against anybody who identifies as that, but for me personally, I would never use the word. So this question is one that I've been kind of bracing myself for. Mom, you probably want to stop watching this video right about now. So the question is, do you masturbate? And if you do, does it feel like you're betraying your body? Or do you have a toy that makes it feel like you're stroking a penis? I do masturbate. I don't use a toy. And for me personally, using my bits doesn't feel like a betrayal of my body. I wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable with anybody else interacting with them, but for now, it's kind of the hand that I was dealt. So I try not to think about it too much. On bad dysphoric days, I wouldn't interact with that part of me at all. But on days where my dysphoria for down there is kind of on the lesser side, it doesn't affect me as much. The way I experience dysphoria is kind of weird. Like, when I'm alone, I don't have a lot of chest dysphoria. I don't mind walking around my apartment shirtless. When I'm around other people and I'm wearing a binder or wearing a sports bra or whatever, it's then I become hyper aware of my body and my mind not necessarily connecting. And I tend to have the most bottom dysphoria when thinking about having sex with another person, which is a video that I'm going to be having, is insecurities and stuff about that. But and also when I'm on my shark week is when I have the most dysphoria down there. So in general, on a regular day, I don't really have much issue with my man cave. It kind of chills, you know. It doesn't give me any problems unless it's during shark week, so I don't mind interacting with it myself. Anyway, so Mom, you can now tune back in. So this is the final question for this video, and that is, what are your plans surgery-wise? Do you want to have genital surgery or no? And if so, which one? So, from what I've personally seen, phalloplasty is the only surgery that I'm aware of. If there's other surgeries, maybe toss me a link or something, because I'm interested in reading about that. But phalloplasty, not really worth the risk in regards to what they have to do down there, and I don't really like the scarification that it causes, and it's just not something for me. However, top surgery is something I dream about daily, and because I'm so large, I'd have to get the double incision, and I'd probably go without nipples, just because that decreases the healing time a little bit, and there's the chance that your body will reject the nipple grafts, and it's just, the healing doesn't look good to me. I don't mind the idea of not having nipples. So, yeah. But, yeah, that was the last question for this video. Another half to this video is going to be coming out next week. Anyway, enjoy your week, guys. Bye! Hey there, guys, gals, and my non-binary pals. How's it going? Right here, bringing you a new video. This is part 2 of answering questions. I highly recommend you watch the first part first. Alright, let's jump right into it.